What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com. Sunday, the 30th of January. Take two, everybody. For anybody that watched the video that was up just a few minutes ago that's now not there, I don't know what was going on with that video. So it was, it wasn't very long. It was only about 12 minutes long. But for whatever reason, I started getting some emails and a couple of DMs saying, dude, what's wrong with the sound? One person said they couldn't hear the video at all. But the other 7 or 8 messages that I got before I even realized it, the sound was working fine up until like the last 2 to 2.5 minutes, where it started kind of going in and out, and then it was just completely dead. I thought it was something to do with maybe the camera, microphone, the computer, something, but from just watching it on my MacBook or, airdropping it to an iPad, phone, anything, you can hear it fine. It's only on YouTube that you couldn't. And they were not wrong. I went back and watched everything, and the one person said they couldn't hear anything. That was incorrect. But everybody else saying that it cut out in the last couple of minutes after I started talking about the free play game. I mentioned the game itself, but then it started cutting out, so they didn't get the free pick. I don't know what it was. I sent it over to my IT guy too, and when I sent it to him, he's like, "What's wrong with it? The sound's fine throughout the entire thing. There's no, fluctuation in how you can hear it and the overall volume." So I don't know. We're doing this take two. Hopefully this one goes better. I'll try to make this one really quick. And then if he gets that one, if we figure out what's going on with it, because I haven't officially removed it from YouTube, I just put it as a like an unposted video. That way we could see if there is something that's fixable that we can figure it out. I'd like to repost that one because then it gives an update over the past, 24 to 36 hours of recaps and everything else. It won't matter in the end because after today, we round out the week. I'll be doing a full week recap for Monday's video. And it has been one absolute hell of a week. First off, congratulations to everybody that has made, and I guess, what, one thing I really want to point out is, of course, the customers that have been with me for a long time, clients that have been part of the firm for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. But I really want to point out the people that have joined us in the last, 90 days. More importantly, the last 30 days. Within the last 30 days, it's January the 30th. We're in the last 2 days of this month, the first month of 2022. A lot of these people had started watching the videos or following on social media, whatever, anywhere from, a week before the year started or even as far back as maybe mid-November, after we took the break from doing videos like we do every year around that time. So they started watching, and then they may have purchased a short-term 3-day pass or a 7-day pass, maybe a couple of them, maybe purchased a game of the week, something like that. And they really saw that the proof in the pudding on the short-term scale and realized, like, okay, I'm going to have to do what he says, go long-term if I really want to turn this into a profitable business that I can scale and go bigger and bigger and bigger. And so there's been quite a few handful of people that have jumped on in this month to go long-term. Here recently, I had one guy that, been following me for a while, been a client for a good amount of time, but finally, went and decided to pull the trigger and go to a 1-year all access pass that he's been wanting to do for a long time. And, one of the most rewarding things, which is why I do this, is to help people make money and realize that you can't do this on your own. There's there's nothing wrong with you not being able to do this on your own. If you don't have the time or the knowledge or the background to do this, you shouldn't know how to do it. And unless you just have nothing else in the world to do, you're not going to have the time to get good enough or learn enough to say, okay, I can now do this on my own. It's not one of those things like, I want to become a better golfer, so I'm going to go play golf every Saturday. That's one thing. This is something that you have to do as, your life for a long time before you really can know to take the leap to say, all right, not only can I do this on my own, I can leave everything else behind and know that I'm going to be okay. But for him to go out, make that purchase at, yes, what was a very, very large discount, But it's still a big purchase compared to what he was buying in 3 days or 7 days or even 30 days. And in the very first day, he was able to make back the majority of his purchase. And he's not a, again, he's one of my smaller investors. He's not at the level where he's betting like most of my clients at one dime per unit. He's betting a couple $100. And in one day to be able to say, I just made back most of what I spent on the purchase. And if you count the day before, because he was still on a current 7-day pass and he had 1 day left on it, he said, if you count what we did yesterday, he said, that was enough to make my purchase. 2 days. So again, that's just what we're talking about. So congrats to you guys. That makes it all worthwhile to get the feedback. And, my client base is so good about giving the feedback and what they appreciate and what they, if they're having any issues with something, what they are, so I can, help them improve in those areas. So real quick, let's just touch on, because what I didn't touch on in the other video is the sales that we still have going on, because there's still today and tomorrow left within the month. But then after this, whether we use them or not, it's going to be over with and the price increases will take effect on Tuesday. But real quick, we do have a game of the week today. It is in the NFL. I know I've hinted around it for a few days. It is in the later game, so I'll tell you that. So right before kickoff is when the game's going to come down, about 5 to 10 minutes prior. So you just want to make sure, obviously what time the game goes tonight. Just make sure that give yourself at least a half hour, and make sure that when you purchase it, give yourself enough time to not only read my small write-up that I did on it, but as well as the couple-minute video that I recorded while going down the road. I decided to record a video instead of making this really long write-up, so it'll be easier. And that video can only be accessed with the link that is in that play. So the only people that can get the link are the people that purchase or have access to the games of the week. But then when you do it, it is encoded. So do not share that link with anybody else, because if you do, we will know who shared it, because we will know based on what encryption was on it that got sent out and shared. And that is a very big no-no, and you will be blackballed, because that is basically you giving away proprietary information on this play. So make sure, but it also allows you to condense what could take you a long time to read into just a couple of minutes where I verbally say what I'm thinking about the game. So I'm not going to tell you if it's a side play, a total play, whatever, but there is a game of the week play. Comes with a 3-day pure profit guarantee, best in the business. Like always, you win, or if God forbid somehow this thing were to lose, you get 3 days of all daily top plays and all premium plays across all sports for 3 days. So that means that there's no risk on the purchase. We ensure that you turn profit no matter what. So there's that. That's up. If you're watching this video, you can go to the website now, go to the purchase page. You'll see Sunday NFL game of the week. Make your purchase. As soon as you complete your purchase, you get instant access to the play, the video, yada, yada, yada. Now, that's number one. Number two, the sales that we still have going on, because again, we created a certain number of spots for these. So you have to have a coupon code to get it. To get the coupon code, you have to DM me on Twitter. DM me, tell you which one you want. Obviously, if there are none left, like we're out of the week coupon codes that was giving it for $50. We're out of the normal all sports month that we were giving out coupon codes for, that was doing it for $99. But what we do have is the 30-day all access passes. We still have 3 of those left. And that was given those are usually $7.99. So we were doing those for half price, or just a little over half price at $3.49. So you're getting over half price. That gives you premium plays, daily top plays, games of the week, games of the month. It gives you everything. Full all access treatment, just like the 1-year pass does. It's just for 30 days instead of 1 year. That's number one. We have a few of those left. The other ones that we still have left, NASCAR, the full season. This right here should be a $5,000 package without question. Patrick does it for $999 for the season. That gives you over 30 weeks of action, over 30 races, and every single Cup Series race, besides one last year that he didn't do because the weather was just so bad leading into it that he knew that it was going to take multiple days to complete that race. And then that's when it becomes a crapshoot and it's not worth laying your money on it, which he explained. Customers appreciated it. But, again, they were making so much money at that point, they didn't care to take a week off. This is something that you're going to bet one race a week on a Cup Series race and be able to make, I mean, on average, the past 3 years, his average rate of return is between 7.5 and 12.5 units per race in pure profit. There have been races where he's made over 15 units of profit for 2 and 3 consecutive weeks by picking outright race winners that pay, 40 to 1 odds, picking out 4 and 5 head-to-head matchups, and it includes everything. That's the only sport where if there is a pick of the week or game of the week type rated play in NASCAR, you don't have to buy those extra. You get them. So $999 is the normal price. We always do an early bird, usually for $399. This year, he's doing it for $249. We still have a handful of passes there to go. NASCAR officially starts a week from today. And it starts with a race that I'm really excited for. Patrick's super excited for. He's going to be there for anybody that's going to that race. Please reach out. We'll get you linked up with Patrick. And again, if it's not an overwhelming amount of people, he does have some VIP passes that he's going to hand out to the first 3 or 4 people that reach out to him. Won't cost you anything. You'll just have to meet up with him at a certain time. And that is the Clash at the Coliseum, the LA Memorial Coliseum. There is going to be the first race of the year before even the Daytona 500 going next week, February the 6th. So we're excited about that. So you can get that race next week. Then following that is the Daytona 500 to truly kick off the season. You go all season long. This goes through the NASCAR postseason, the playoffs, the championship, everything. It goes from race 1 all the way until there is a Cup Series champion crowned. $249, guys. You can't beat that. You'll make that money back. As long as you're not betting $2 a pick, you'll make that money back in your first race. And then some. $249. Last time I looked, there were 6 or 7 out of the 25 that we did on that. There could even have been 8. I don't know if any have been used in the couple of hours since I last looked, but make sure you pick up one of those. The MLB season we were out of, but I had one customer that really wanted to get on one, and I kind of overpromised by saying, yep, we've got one left, and we ended up not having that one left because I did not realize that one of my sales staff was basically giving it out at the same time. So I had to have my IT guys and my sales staff go in and create another coupon code, but in doing so, it had to create a batch of 10 of them. So I wasn't going to announce this. I was just going to let 9 of them not be used. But I said, you know what? We've got so many people that are returning to baseball for another season or wanting this to be their first season. Screw it, let's give those out too. $2,500 is the cost of my MLB season. That is my most sought after sport. That is what a lot of people know me for. I am the MLB king. Nobody even remotely compares to me. And you can go back and watch 4 years worth of videos, see all of the people that will review it and tell you, all of the people that will give you firsthand experience. Go back and watch my predictions where I would predict the entire playoff rosters of what teams are going to make it, what teams are going to advance, what the matchup in the World Series is going to be, and who ultimately is going to win the World Series and how many games. 2018 put me on the map by literally predicting every single spot in the playoffs, telling you that Boston was going to win it when they weren't even projected to be a wild card potential. And I said they were going to win the World Series. I said they were going to do it in 6 games. I said they were going to do it against LA. And that it was just so. Go back. I got the receipts. Go back and watch them if you don't believe me. But usually we do an early bird special that allows you to get it for $999 right there as soon as spring training starts. That usually lasts for about 24 hours. This year I wanted to do something even more special. So $499 for the full season. We've got 9 spots left as this video goes out, and so you better hurry. They will be gone by the end of the day, I would say. Worst case, if they do trickle into tomorrow, they won't make it past tomorrow. This is as soon as we announced that, they were gone. So get on that. 1 year all access, $5,000, too cheap, going up to $7,000, which is still too cheap. You can get it for $19.99. $1,999. I have 2 of those left. The Triple Threat Pass, which gives you the remainder of NHL, NBA, and college basketball season passes, all premium and daily top plays through the playoffs, championships, everything in all 3 sports. Usually that would run you about $1,500 at this point to get what's left of them, because that's a $3,500 pass to begin with. You can get every bit of that for $799, the remainder of all three sports. You want a top play year because you don't want to play the premium plays. You just want to do daily top plays, games of the week, games of the month, games of the year across all sports. You can do that for $499. Now, again, remember, that doesn't come with premium plays, so there will be days every so often where you just don't get plays because I don't have a top-rated play or, of course, a game of the week or something like that. But a huge bang for your buck, because that right there is a $3,000 pass in and of itself. So all this money that you can save, 30-day all-access NASCAR season, damn sure get on the NASCAR season, guys. If you have a chance to get on the MLB for this price before they're gone, you'd be stupid not to. But anybody that's like, what, NASCAR? Trust me, if you're not betting NASCAR, we have now caught 11 different known handicapping services, well known, that were buying our NASCAR picks, Patrick's plays, and putting them out to customers. So we had to start encrypting them and putting them out later just so they couldn't take credit for it and try to make money off of them. One of them being probably one of the most well-known services that have been around for decades. And, one of probably the most well-known cappers, who's an absolute joke, a crook. He's a fucking drunk. But anyway, he was one of the main culprits, and yeah, when he got called out, he just thought his shit didn't stink until he realized that we had every bit of proof on him. So anyway, I digress. Go get on those real quick. Told you about the game of the week. Here's the free plays that we were talking about. One of them was in the early NFL game. Here's the thing. Do I think the Bengals are a good team? Yeah, I've told you that all year. But this year, going through like the midway point of the season, what's one of the things I told you about Kansas City? I said it on 3 videos in a row, 3 consecutive NFL videos. So 3 Sunday videos, and every single one of them for 3 weeks, I talked about it when Kansas City was struggling, and everybody was like, oh, Kansas City is, it was a fluke. Patrick Mahomes is overrated, all this stuff. Do I think Patrick Mahomes is overrated? Yes, to the point that the media has overrated him. Not to the point that he's not as good as he has shown. I think he's just as good, if not better than that. But the problem is with that is that the media made him out to be God in year 1. When he won that Super Bowl, what happened? He ran through the season. Everybody said he was the greatest thing to ever come around, that he was better than Brady, which, by the way, the reason I haven't mentioned the Brady retirement is because I'm still sick to my stomach over it, and I'm praying to God, since I haven't heard it from Brady's mouth. And I've talked to a lot of people that work not with Brady, but within the National Football League, and are very close with people that know Brady very, very well, and all of them said that, yes, it's true to everything that they know. One person said they talked to someone else who's spoken with Brady, that they said they knew about it 2 weeks ago, that he had made his decision that once the season was over, he was going to hang it up, that he just didn't feel like he could come and really contribute at the level that he has been for another full season, and he just can't do part-time. He just said he knows that he can't. He would never try to do that. So again, we'll see. If it is, hats off to the greatest athlete that ever lived. I mean, you guys know I'm an MJ fanatic, but I really truly believe that even MJ didn't single-handedly do things that Brady has done. I mean, there's no question that the Bulls weren't even a playoff team without him, and that was proven when he went to play baseball. But what Brady's done is just beyond comprehension. I think that he is the most model athlete as far as his work ethic, his attitude, his just overall demeanor as somebody that you could look up to, idolize. Like, he is the epitome of what, somebody in that position should be. And Tom Brady, I mean, everybody knows that I'm obsessed with Brady. I fucking love Tom Brady. And I hope that it's not true. I hope I get to see him one more year. But again, I really wish that Brady would, put a farewell out there. But I always told you guys he wouldn't do that. He's just too big. And he knows it would cause too much hype and circulation. He wouldn't be able to concentrate on the season if he told everybody prior to, hey, this is going to be my last year. So let's let the media hound me for the next 18 weeks while I'm trying to go out there and win a game. But anyway, but I told you then that Patrick Mahomes was great. And he was going to exceed all expectations of what anybody thought he could be. going into his career. But when they made him out to be God and could do no wrong and this superhuman person, that when a few mistakes happened to what was still, in all honesty, a rookie, that now everybody just thinks that he's no good, he's overhyped, whatever, whatever. Get over yourself. Patrick Mahomes is still one of the one of the three best quarterbacks in the game, and I'm counting because Brady still is not technically retired yet. If you want to take Brady out of the conversation, you say he's one of the two best. Joe Burrow, I think, is on his way to being considered top 10 in the next couple of years, top 5, and I think he's going to be a multi-time champion as long as he stays healthy. I don't know that it'll be with Cincinnati. We'll see. It could be where he ends up having a very long career with Cincinnati, or it could be where 2 years from now he's not there because he ends up being the face of a bigger franchise, a more established franchise, you could say, in longevity of championships, something like a Pittsburgh now that Roethlisberger is going to be gone. Maybe something like a New Orleans. You never know. Maybe something like, I know he's in Ohio. He likes that, but who knows what's going to happen with Baker in the next few years? We don't know what's going to happen. But while saying that, who's more experienced between the two? Obviously, it's Mahomes. But go back to those videos that I said, all you guys are freaking out over this. I said they basically replaced their entire offensive line. I said, if you let that offensive line, if you give them time to get acclimated and really get settled and get into a rhythm, I said, I think that Kansas City goes from looking like a well below average team to looking like a postseason team that's going to make a Super Bowl run. What happened? They started getting acclimated. They had a rocky week or two since then against very good teams, and then they go out and they have just flat dominated since then. So what Kansas City did, I think, was the smartest move in all of football, the way they did it, because they went out there knowing that, okay, they won a Super Bowl. Then they go out and have to face Brady. They lose to him, and it's like, okay, is this going to be the end of what everybody thought was going to be the dynasty? Knowing that they walked into this season with, a potential Super Bowl run for a third consecutive year, they were willing to take the risk of that not happening, basically giving this year up, and next year, to say that we can be good for 4, 5, 6 years so that this big, history, world record breaking, biggest in all of sports contract we gave Patrick Mahomes can fulfill itself with 2, 3, or 4 championships. And we've got a team set up looking ahead down through a decade instead of just, the games in front of them. Luckily, because they had the feeling that it was possible that if it turned the corner quick enough this season, that they would be able to do what it would take to get in the postseason. And then if they could get there, they had what it would take to, take it all the way. Does that mean they can win a Super Bowl? Not necessarily. Do they have the team for it? Yes. I still think if you want to look at from a quarterback standpoint, that Patrick Mahomes is, he's still like kind of the guiding light, even though from a true quarterback perspective, what that position's meant to be, Matthew Stafford is not only the best left, he's one of the best, period, and has been his whole career. That's why he was the highest paid quarterback of all time for a long time. That's why he was the highest paid person in the NFL for a long time when you actually base it on money and contracts. And I wasn't a fan of him when he was in college just because I don't like Georgia. And, I like Matthew Stafford. There's no way around it. I wish he would have won one with Detroit, but whatever. Today, I think that this offensive line proves that everything that Reid and company did was correct. I think Patrick Mahomes proves that even just those couple of years have a huge difference. Not to mention, Burrow goes out, there's only his second year. He didn't play a full season his first year because he got hurt. The Bengals certainly weren't going anywhere fast, and now all of a sudden he is one win away from a Super Bowl. I think that'll get to him, while as Patrick has been there for a few years. He's been to the last 2 Super Bowls, won another one. This is becoming just repetitive for him. And I think that experience, that mindset, that understanding of what's actually taking place is going to play a big factor. And I think because of that, not just to mention that I think the Bengals are a team where just everything went right versus where Kansas City is a team that's actually good enough to be where they are and win a Super Bowl. I think that they win it and they cash their ticket to a third Super Bowl, truth be told. So in that game, again, right now, looking at it right before we started the first video, and to the best of my knowledge, it hasn't changed. If it has, you guys know what to do by this point. But I'm going to take the Chiefs. A lot of people are probably going to get it at 7 at minus $1.10. I actually bought it down to 6.5. We laid $1.20 at William Hill. Pinnacle had $1.15. Bovada had $1.15 when you buy it down. That could have changed, but I want it under that touchdown mark. That way, if it does end by exactly a touchdown, then we win instead of push. This is a game where I don't think a push is in the cards. I think it's either they win by over a touchdown or something happens, they shoot their own selves in the foot, and then the Bengals walk away shocking the world by going from a nobody to contending for a Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs, buy it down from 7 points, lay 6.5 at minus $1.20, and that's going to be your free play for today in Game 1. I've got some props in that game, as well as we've got our Game of the Week, as well as props as well, and in that if you're on the premium and daily top plays for the later game against the 49ers and the Rams. And then, tell you what, I'm going to give you one more since this video is going a lot longer than I thought it would because I went on a Tom Brady rant. I'll tell you what else I'm going to give you. And this is because I just really, really, really believe that we're getting value here. And I think that it's being overlooked a little bit. I really think that this Orlando Magic's and Dallas Mavericks game, I think that it's a little bit inflated because, again, while Orlando is still the bottom of the barrel of NBA teams, I mean, look at how many times we've won with Orlando as an underdog in the past month, in the past 30 days. We've played them 6 times in the past 30 days, and we've only lost one of those, and it was because a game went into overtime and we lost by a bucket when we should have outright won a plus 280 game, and we almost did. So while I do believe that Dallas is beyond a 6-point better team, I think that they're double digits better if you want to take both teams at 100%, everybody playing well, rested, yada, yada, yada. But when you look at situationally coming into this, what Dallas has done travel-wise, what they've done the past few days with playing versus the same thing that Orlando's done, comparing all that, then versus comparing that Dallas has struggled kind of getting back into a rotation. Now they've gotten certain players back. Obviously, Porzingis is still out. But now that Orlando has a few pieces back, and they keep kind of running these adjustments and going in and out with certain players different than what they were doing in the first half of the season or in the first month or two of the season, it's really worked out well, and the rest factor of not playing guys so many minutes in these chunks and allowing them to go out for 3-4 minutes, then come out, get a little more rest, then go back out, and just doing this all-time transition has allowed them to get from averaging 98 points a game to now over the past month, they've been averaging roughly 108. A 10-point swing in the NBA when you have as low of a shooting percentage overall as you have is a big deal. Now, when you have Dallas, who has averaged 111 points throughout the season, but you look at the talent they have, why are they only averaging 111 when, truth be told, if you look at the true index fund of what they should do based on individual talent coming together and the teams they've had to play, so their overall schedule, I have Dallas that should be averaging 117 points a game for the season, and for the month of January, they should be averaging 121, and they're not doing it. But I think this game is also on the total, because both teams are above average defense-wise based on NBA standard. I think that plus the fact that if you look at it season-wide, everybody's thinking of Orlando as this right at or just sub 100-point team, and Dallas has also, for the greater majority, struggled to get games over 120 in regulation. That's where you get this total of 210. I've seen a couple of 210.5s out there at like Bovada and stuff, but William Hill and Pinnacle both have 210 at minus $1.15 for the over. I think that just situationally we're set up for a game that should go 220 or beyond. Again, this is also a game that I believe that situationally could come down to maybe not necessarily the wire, but come down to the last couple of minutes, where if Orlando's willing to risk certain things, take more, risk and bigger chances, they could have a chance to really push this game into overtime, or maybe go out there as a big home dog and pull it the outright upset. So your second free play, we're going to take Orlando and Dallas over 210 points at minus $1.15. But if you want to sprinkle some fun money on something, or you want to take a full unit and split it up a couple different ways, I like Orlando tonight +6. I've seen 1.6.5 out there, and that was at I think that was at Circa. I have to go back and look. But I am going to hold off on making that particular bet because I don't think that Orlando is going to get much money, if any at all, in the grand scheme of it. So I'm going to take Orlando tonight for some fun money at least +6. But if I can wait and this game can go up to 6.5 across the board, I may even be able to shop around and get a 7 by that point, and it just makes it that much sweeter. But I mean, if it doesn't and it stays where it's at William Hill, it's Orlando +6 at $1.10. For nothing more than some fun money at this point, which could change, but for at the very least some fun money, I will be taking Orlando and the Dallas Mavericks over. And let me check this money line real quick at William Hill just to see if somebody wanted to take a full unit, split it up a couple ways, and put a quarter unit or something. Now, right now, I mean, you can get +185 at William, or excuse me, no. +195 at William Hill if you took Orlando outright on the money line. So might be worth just a little bit based on the fact that you've got the profit to do it with how much money we've made this week. But your two official free plays, your first and foremost, Kansas City. We're going to buy them down to 6.5. Play them to take down Cincinnati in the early NFL game. And then second free play, over 210 points, Dallas Mavericks, Orlando Magic. And then if you want to sprinkle just a tiny, tiny bit on the money line, Orlando +195. I think it's worth the risk because I think we're getting value here with Orlando, especially the way the market has just trended all in Dallas's favor. And I don't think they're taking anything into consideration with this game. I mean, I broke it down every way you could, and I think the actual market value of this from an ATS standpoint would be Dallas -3. And that's because they're on the road. If they were at home, I could see 3.5, 4. But I've got them 3. And I think that, I mean, truth be told, just with situationally, just everything, I think that at best, Orlando's a +135 money line. The fact that we're getting that much value because everybody's so one-sided, I think presents a lot of value in the market. And I think situationally, this game could surprise a lot of people. So do what you will with that. Go get on the game of the week. Go get on one of the sales. DM me on Twitter. We will be working. We've got sales staff in the office checking the Twitter, at least once every 20 minutes. So make sure that you DM me, and it'll either be myself or one of them reach back out to you within the hour. We can do it in order, so don't worry if you don't get an immediate response. That doesn't mean you didn't get it. And we will go through. We count everything, so we go in order. Let us know what package you want. As long as you get your request in time, we'll send you over the coupon code. You can use it at checkout on the site, or if you got any questions, you can do the same. We will be working and checking those for today until the start of the game of the week. And so that we will be taking the game of the week purchase link down right there at the start. So there's a 6:35 official kickoff time set. So at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, the purchase link for the game of the week will be gone off the site. You won't be able to utilize it, and that'll be about what time we pack up and call it a day. So if you send DMs around that time or later, don't expect a response until the following day. But just make sure you get it in, because a lot of these, now that we're putting it out on video again, will probably be gone before the office shuts down today. Love you guys. Sorry for the mishap on the first video. Glad we got to do another one and kind of touch on a few things we didn't. But enjoy the free plays. I love you, and we will see you all in the winner's circle.